Good evening, everybody. I hope you are ready to abandon any sense of order and embrace the chaotic entropy of the universe, because today it's time for the Sunday Slapdash, where all reasonable, well thought out flag sets are sent to the moon and we're dealt with whatever the dice have decided for us today. No mystery tonight. We actually know the flags we're dealing with, and it is fiend hunting time. So apologies to the Restream team that has to put all of those objectives up on the board there, but we'll do as much compacting as we can. My name is Smapty, and I have the absolute pleasure of introducing to you his first day in the booth today. Please welcome Scythe Marshall. Scythe, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty well. Thanks, Smapty. I'm very excited to be here. I'm very excited to, watch some bosses get defeated. This is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, this is definitely a boss hunt here. Couple of character hunts there at the end. I have to find what you might arguably call the most and least useful party members in some people's mind. The powerful Paladin Cecil and the slightly less powerful Bard Edward. We do have that spoon flag on, though, so if we find that spoon for Edward, could definitely be a bit of a glass cannon in our party as well.
Yeah, and we also have Vanilla Fusoya on, even with push B to jump. So if we find one of our two old men, look out.
Yeah, that is very important to note. We do have that push B to jump flag on. How familiar are you with push B to jump, Scythe?
Oh, pretty familiar. My first tracking duty actually was a push B to jump seed with the My City and Jumping Club. So I think I know a thing or two. I'm looking forward to seeing some of the very cool jumps in and out of different locations.
Yeah, combining all of that with a boss hunt is going to lead to some very, very interesting routing here. Might see, depending on what characters and items show up, might see some of our runners here going for some very early plays at certain boss spots. It'll be really, really interesting to see. Push B to jump kind of does open that routing a ton, so there's just way more options on the board than there normally would be.
And the fun thing is, though, with push B to jump, normally you skip a lot of bosses. We have to find 6 of them. So we'll see what happens. If you dive the hook route, maybe we see a stop at the save point to check who the King Queen Eblin spot is.
Yeah, exactly. That is a very good point. Skipping bosses not necessarily as valid a strategy here when you got to hunt down 6 of them. So yeah, I completely agree with you there. Gosh, that is just such a barren character screen. Taking a look at Poydrak, that's the only characters that we have a chance to show up here, and Fusoya definitely the standout there, but outside of that, not seeing too much that is going to be enormously effective.
I don't know. I think the Sunday hash dash bash maybe is good, and if we can find the spoon, I think Eddie can contribute as well.
Yeah, right you are. And I think everything is readied up. We should be getting going soon here. And there they go. And we're going to see who our secondary character is. This is going to be a big roll here. If it is Fusoya, that's huge. If not, well, no, it is Fusoya. So there we go. That is huge. And Rat Tail to start is not immediately useful. Can't exactly turn that in. But it is a key item, can get that key item counter going, and it's going to make the hook really appealing when you find it.
Yeah, I've been told that when push B to jump came out, a lot of people tried every possible jump they can imagine to jump to the rat tail turn-in location, but they couldn't. So it's a shame, but gotta have some required items, right?
As strong as your legs may be, a hovercraft is still required, unfortunately.
So where would you go right now?
I'd be thinking, like, I'm right here at Baron. I might just go take out Baron Inn. I mean, you've got a fully powered Fusoya. Just, go in there, get the character item check done, check the shops while you're here, and then work from there. Is Ceradan going for a duplication glitch here?
I think so. Dupe glitch is on. I don't know how much the dream. Well, I think Ceradan might be. Oh, they're both doing a dupe. So I think they're attempting to dupe for money.
Yeah, that would make the most sense there. Successfully done here. You can see that number 5 there in the weapon slot for Edward. That means the dupe glitch was successfully done. We have 255 of those harps to sell, and we can start getting a tremendous amount of items here from those shops.
I think that was many more than 255.
Yeah, I think that was interesting. He didn't actually unequip the harp there, so it was just selling that empty item. I've never actually seen that done like that. That is a lot more money than the harp would have given.
Yeah, that's I believe that's not what they do. I think they do something similar to that in the vanilla speedrun. But if you only do the dupe glitch to create an underflow, you're actually selling 65,535 of those items.
Incredible. Oh, Witchburn is on, and it is Whisper. That is a piggy Fusoya, not going to be very good at casting anything in that state, but Edward very much on standby with that heal potion. We're going to get Fusoya back to normal and casting that virus as he intended to.
Witchburn Wyvern is one of my favorite flags, so I'm glad we saw it right away. Whoa, very free Baronin.
Yes, indeed. Even though we've got that fully powered Fusoya, not strictly necessary with this suite of bosses here. Not even going to sit around to wait for the cutscene to go. And there is a Porum and a Twin Harp to go along with it.
Also note the pass was in the Mysidia item shop, so hopefully our runners remember to go there.
Yeah, with the dupe glitch on, I can't imagine our runners are going to want to skip too many shops here. And yeah, getting that pass is a definite relief for our runners, knowing they're not going to have to make the terrible, terrible descent into the lunar subterranean to fight Zoramus. They can just do, oh wow, there's a second Fusoya, just chilling on Mount Ordeals.
But it is no dupes, and so Fusoya joined our party and all of a sudden disappeared.
Unfortunate. Also unfortunate, there's a Golbez there.
Ooh, that's rude. Actually, that's not so rude. Podrick only had, oh, okay, Podrick does have 3 characters, so that, yeah, virus. Ooh, yes, that is the correct choice. Edward can hide, hopefully, and then Shadow will only eat, well, will not eat anyone, but Edward did not hide, and so this is unfortunate.
And we've got Demist showing up for Ceradan, but I believe we only have no free bosses on, so no bonus round there. Bedward's got the item he normally has.
Golbez did, or Shadow did eat the Edward, so this is the optimal outcome to this fight.
Yeah, that's what you want to see. That means Porum is, well, actually no. You still get experience from this spot. We're in the castle, not the Baronet. Well, Porum's still not going to get any experience here. Either way, the fight is through.
Yeah, definitely not concerned.
And the explode on Ceradan's side is going to knock out 2 of his characters, but we still have a Lunarian and easily going to take out all of those bombs with Quake.
I'm kind of confused. I think Ceradan must have decided that he could just fight the boss and get experience, because, you know, I guess I'm wondering why he didn't save and then skip the bosses if they weren't important.
Good point. Might still be, might have just decided, it's a very good question. We might have to ask him. Because yeah, you can jump over those spots, and once you've seen that they're not necessary for your objectives, you can just move on. There's a blue robe. Is it the good or the bad blue? It is the good one.
And what are we going to see in the Baron trash can? Ooh, an Avenger. No one to use it yet. Actually, I think, oh yeah, we do have the potential of a Cecil in this seed. So I guess Podrak will hang on to that for a while, but we'll see if a Cecil does show up.
Yeah, if Cecil shows up and we get him online into a Paladin, definitely going to appreciate that Avenger. That is an enormously powerful weapon for him. Poitrak's going to check out that Odin spot before heading to the proper throne room. Does not like that evil wall. The immediate reset there.
Yep, and we know it is K main, K moon, no K summon on. So the evil wall here, peace out. Never seeing it again. Well, we might see it on Saradin's side, but not for very long.
Yeah, right you are. And yeah, Poitrak even resetting out of those characters. No interest in Edward or Tella here. Already has the Edward, and Tella, of course, really not much use for him when you already have Fusoya. So gonna save a little bit of time, just reset and check out some other spots.
There's another dupe Fusoya, and then on Saradin's side we see the Luca key, which if we do require sealed cave, we will have to do it fair and square because the warp glitch is not on. And who knows, maybe one of the required bosses is down there.
Yep, always something you got to check when you do that sealed cave and you know you've got a boss hunt in front of you. Is even if you strike out on that key item, always check that boss, because that is a kind of, I would say, a little bit trolly spot for bosses to show up in boss hunts, just out of the way, and you know, not something you necessarily want to do if you don't have to.
And Poitrak found a Yang at the top of Damsian. So looks like that's we've seen 5 of our 7 potential characters in the seed, except that it's only distinct 6. So we know we're gonna see either Cecil or Sid and not both.
Correct. And Saradin's going to not recruit the dupe Fusoya here, just to get past and check a few more of these chests here.
Oh, and Esco in chat brings up a good point that one of our objectives is Cecil, so we know exactly who is in this.
Oh yeah, good point. It would be very difficult to recruit Cecil if he was not actually here. So yeah, that is an excellent point.
Shoutouts to our restream team, by the way. Right now we've got Escorian on the restream, and we have Akir on tracking. Thanks for keeping us honest and keeping the show on the road, while we see a hook from Ogopogo at the Antlion Cave. That's not strictly required. Well, no, that is required if we need the rat tail.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, going to check on that rat tail item that we got from the beginning. Something our runners are going to want to do eventually. In fact, that looks like Poitrak's immediate move here as he goes to grab the hovercraft and head over to the Adamant Grotto. And what has our rat tail been worth here? Sand Ruby. I don't think anybody has been to Kaipo yet.
No, they have not. I kind of think Poitrak might go right there. We'll see.
Yeah, it's
the save scum the Kaipo check.
Yeah, that's a very smart move, because then you're right back over there. You can follow that up with, you know, heading south to Cave Eblin, or, you know, any other place you want to go. So some heads up saving there by Poitrak. And nope, not a Paladin. Gonna take the reset. Well, I guess in Poitrak's case it would be a Dark Knight. He has not been to Ordeals yet.
I suspect he will go to ordeals eventually. There are 3 bosses there. It turned out that none of them were required, right?
Not that I recall. I don't think we have seen a required boss yet, unless I'm mistaken.
Also, Solaris pointing out in chat, the shops, we mentioned we have all this money. The shops are not very good. S Pro, no J, no life. Ooh.
Yeah, that no life is very nasty. Having to rely on white magic to raise, not ideal. Not least of all because the life spell can actually miss in this game, which is heartbreaking if you need to get somebody up at the right time and it just whiffs. Not fun. So that's going to be a little bit of a challenge here for our runners.
Yeah, relying on, say, Tella to do a little bit of healing with the life spell. Sometimes you have to wonder.
One of those rare situations where the life staff might even come in use if it's found, just to use as an item and get that life, that MP free life cast off from say a spare Tella in your party.
Mm-hmm. And on Poitrak's side, we see what I expected from our runners on Mount Ordeals. Check each of the bosses and then jump through.
Yep, one of the fun things about Push B to Jump is you can jump right over those cutscene triggers and just avoid those bosses. Poitrak takes the adamant. I've got to imagine he's going to see this fight through just to unlock Paladin Cecil, since he does have that Avenger. Does know Cecil is in the seed somewhere, is going to want to pick him up and put him on the team.
I think Poitrak forgot that it's end bosses, though. And Slap, hilarious.
Fight, Slap! I didn't see who was in Mist Cave, but it must not have been anybody important because Cerdin has quickly reset out of that fight. End bosses is no free bosses. So all of the scripts that would easily take care of a boss, say status vulnerabilities or storyline triggers, have been removed. So got to fight Water Hag and defeat it with its actual HP instead of just 3 punches.
Which, if you've had a look at some of the boss scaling stat spreadsheets and some of the more detailed data about Free Enterprise, you'll know that the Water Hag boss usually has an obscene amount of hit points, but with end bosses, it's brought back down to the normal hit points for that spot.
Yeah, thankfully we don't have the Water Hag boss fight as one of the fights in Free Enterprise, because that would just be absurd.
Yes, and we know at this spot it's only 1k hit points, so a Fusoya virus should handily take care of it. Or a nuke, that works too.
No kill like overkill. Yes, the Supersmith can be a weapon for anyone. In Sea Hero, Supersmith is automatically enabled and will specifically give you a weapon for your hero character. We don't have Sea Hero on here, so it can be, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it can be literally any weapon, even for characters that are not part of the seed, correct?
Yes, that is my understanding of the flag. What would be nice is potentially if it's, maybe there's an intermediate Supersmith flag potentially in the future that gives you a weapon for a character in the seed, but unfortunately that's not the case as of right now. And I see Poitrak got mistimed the jumps, and so here's D-missed.
Yeah, one of the nice things, though, about the Supersmith weapons is they're modified slightly from their GBA incarnations in as far as who can equip them. They were for specific characters in the GBA. That's some of them have had their character restrictions lifted a little bit, so that characters that don't normally get a Supersmith weapon can still get in on the fun. So there's a little bit of leeway there. You could get, say, I believe like there's certain swords that can actually be used between Kane and Cecil, and a lot of the rods will work on most of the casters, things of that nature. So
yeah, I believe each of the white and black magic staves are used both by one of the twins and one of the old men. So the Nirvana has 2 users, just to make sure that both Tella and Fusoya have weapons to use.
Yeah, right, exactly.
And it looks like Saradin either missed time to jump or forgot that Luge was at the Baigen spot.
It looked like it was a missed jump, just looking at his screen, but either way, gonna get through this pretty quick, just a little bit of a time off.
Yeah, Vanilla Fu is so good. You just have to watch out for MP consumption, right? Better have your ethers and elixirs.
And before I say anything about the MP underflow glitch, let me check my notes, and
It is not on.
No MP underflow glitch, so let's not even talk about that. And second thought, let us not talk about MP underflow glitch. 'Tis a silly glitch.
And I see on Poidrag's side, checking music, everyone's favorite. So in about a minute, we'll be quiet for a little bit while we get to hear some music. In the recent update, we've had many Twin Harp songs added to the pool, courtesy, I think, of Poidrak. Poidrak, you gotta check the boss.
Poidrak with the juke. Just the glass hat, so if this is not a boss that is required, Poidrak might be resetting out of music, which is heresy, I know.
No, we're gonna hear the music. It's gonna come up right about now. It is not too soon, Esco. You need to hear Run for a little bit.
And a quick interruption of the fairy theme there as Poitrak resets out of the Pale Dim fight, but shout out to my SO in chat, who is both a fairy and a harp player, so love to hear that song.
Yeah, and we've definitely, I think we heard at least one loop of that track, so no big deal that we had to reset out.
Yeah, we heard the whole thing. We got everything. Nothing was missed there.
All right, on Saradin's side, we finally see someone entering Fabul Castle. We see the D-Imps at the boss, and, we're not going to see them for very long.
No, don't get too used to them.
And on Poidrak's side, we're seeing the Zot check, and normally you have to walk all the way around all the walls, but with push B you can do some actually fairly major skips, one coming up right now, where we're going to jump onto the ceiling, jump down, and then move into the next route, and then jump down, and there you go, we're done.
And very conveniently going right past that Maga Sister spot to get to the save point. Probably jump right back if this is not a required boss.
A vacant first spot, which means I think that was the Baron Guards.
I thought it might have been Antlion, since it would have been the claws.
Oh, yes, that's a good point. Also, while that was happening, Saradin has found the Darkness Crystal. So
Yeah,
there.
that's a big find because you can get to the underground in push B to jump without a key item, but the moon still need that darkness crystal. So no Cecil and Zot, which is unfortunate because you get the 2 character checks there. I know Poydrak was probably hoping that Paladin would show up here, and with Plague, that is not a required boss. So now Poydrak's got to hope that there's a key item payoff at the end of this, or Zot is a complete bust.
Well, it's a fast fight at least. Nuke one-shots it, so we'll see. This is also a full heal, right, at the end of the cutscene, so Fu will be back at full MP.
Yep, that's a very good point. We'll have to wait around for any cabins or inns or anything like that. And this is a check that most runners are likely to make anyway, with 2 bosses being up here in a boss hunt and 2 characters be up here in a character hunt. Zot's too appealing to pass up, so I don't think Poydrak's going to feel too bad if this doesn't pay off. Ooh,
Hey,
Pan.
that's an item.
Yeah, that is definitely something I like to see before I have been underground, because that just opens up so many checks.
I think you do that right now, right? You check your freebies?
I would feel very tempted to just go ahead and head underground right now, get that free Feymarch chest in, get all those pan checks in.
Get the hook character check?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's really tempting right now if I'm in Poydrak's position.
All right, we got our recap of the Mist Cave check. It was just a karate, so easy reset out of there. And on Ceriden's side, he has gone up to the moon, so let's see who's on the lunar dais.
Here's our Paladin.
Hey.
He has been waiting on the moon all of this time. Moon transfix you indeed. And that is another objective in the bag for Ceriden. Just bosses to hunt from now on.
And say goodbye to Edward. Easy replacement. Well, you have to be careful. It is vanilla agility. So now Cecil will be the anchor for Ceriden, but I think that's a pretty good replacement. I think there's no worries here.
Yeah, and it is relatively easy to keep Cecil's agility in check. Just have to keep him when he gets into the 40s. Just have to watch it and make sure you're on that magic number so that you're not pushing Zoramus to a new relative agility. So yeah, not a reason to just completely dismiss using Cecil at all.
So we do see a purple robe at Rubicant. We have found one of our 6 bosses.
Indeed we have. That is some flavor of Mylon. So I've got to imagine Poydrak is going to take the fights here and get that checked off his list. Ordinarily, you can skip all of the fights here and push B to jump, but now that they're required, probably not going to see that. Ceriden looked like was headed up to the Chocobo Forest, then thinking better of it, heading back to the castle, and then thinking better of that and getting back in the airship. Change of plans on the fly here, it looks like.
Push B to jump can lead to a little bit of indecision, especially when you have so many options.
You're absolutely right.
So you were right about Antlion at the Magus Sister spot, because here are the Baron Guards.
Yeah, and these are actually a pretty nasty fight here, because we have that no free bosses on. Guards are normally easily dealt with status effects. That is not an option here. They have that boss bit in. You've got to deal damage with them to defeat them. One Quake does do it, so that is good news there. But you can see Fusoyo was already down to half health before that Quake got off.
Yeah, it's a dangerous spot, but got through it. Vanilla Fusoya Still pretty good. And now we're gonna see. Time to see what. Well, yeah, time to see which Mylon we get. It is Mylon and Friends.
Good news for a Quake happy Fu here, because this version of Mylon is not flying and is vulnerable to the Quake spell.
I was going to say, soon to be just Mylon, and then soon to be burned to a crisp. On the other side, Saradin had some trouble with that Wyvern. I should probably apologize. That Wyvern is a little bit more rude than I expected.
Yeah, that piggying of random party members is a little bit nasty when you need to get out some quick magic with Fusoya. Poydrak was lucky enough to have a heal potion on hand when he did it, and got Fusoya unpiggied. I'm not sure if that's the case with Saradin.
Saradin going for Piggy strats because you can just cast Piggy on yourself. The problem is that Piggy has a very long cast delay. However, it seems to have worked out okay because Cecil's going to take Wyvern out, and Fu will be, well, almost. Fu will be almost ready for the next fight. Well, yeah. King Queen Evelyn, but you know.
Precisely, yeah. Only 400 HP in this first spot here. So one more swing of that axe from Cecil, and he should be through this fight. Ooh, taking another reset there as that board AI targeting is Fusoya. So yeah, a little bit of a struggle here. Meanwhile, Poydrak is into the underground, has Mylon vanilla flavor, or Mylon original, Mylon and Friends down, and a lot of places to check here in the underground, including a lot of freebies.
Yeah, and we saw that Poydrak checked the Luge spot boss. It was Odin, so not required unless Odin gates a key item.
Yeah, I'm sure not exactly something Poydrak is in a hurry to rush up to, knowing that we're not going to get any boss value out of it. Saradin, meanwhile, is through that Wyvern fight and into King Queen Evelyn, so making some progress there.
And we see Poydrak going to, okay, go to heal up Fu, and then I guess we'll see where he goes from there. I can imagine peeking the Dwarf 1 boss, because Poydrak has done the Zot check, so knows that I think Esco said it was the Alt Gauntlet at Golbez. Oh, is it the Alt Gauntlet? Or is it the Vanilla? It is the Vanilla Gauntlet.
It's Vanilla Gauntlet today, no alternate gauntlet. That is actually, Moleboy in chat brings up an interesting question that I actually do not know the answer to. I'm wondering if you might. Does Whisper respect the flipping between Piggy and non-Piggy? Could you pre-Piggy Whisper, or is that just the Piggy spell itself that flips back and forth?
No, I think that should work. I've seen Whisper hit my characters multiple times. Okay. So I believe that should just be a toggle. Speaking of Whisper, we have Dark Elf at the Calbrena spot. Timely.
Not a terribly difficult fight here. It will have a goodly amount of HP, but Nuke does a goodly amount of damage, so not really a concern.
Yeah, the dragon can punch a little bit, so I'm a bit concerned for, say, Porum's well-being after this transformation, but I think Fu should be fine.
Oh, Possum Orpheus with some interesting piggy trivia. If you piggy a party member, when you put a ruby ring on, Whisper won't turn you back from a pig, though, since you're already protected from piggy status. So if you really wanted to remain a pig, slip on a ruby ring onto your hoof once you've transformed. Some esoteric strategies there.
That is certainly a Galaxy Brain strat.
Skull Kitty is correct. That does indeed sound like some Shrek logic. And here's a fight we don't see very much. This is the original Gauntlet. All Gauntlet has sort of become the de facto way to play free Enterprise, so it's fun to see these low-level encounters here.
Yeah, and the vanilla Gauntlet fights are not the original fights. They're scaled to the boss spot, but because there are 6 fights, all the hit points are split and whatnot. And so these 6 fights have Golbez's 3k hit points split between all the fights. So I think 6 viruses will do the job.
Yeah, I'm no Arithromancer, but that means they probably don't have much HP.
Actually, I think, speaking of arithnomancy, I don't know, I call it arithmetic. I think Fu is going to not have quite enough MP for this, the second last virus. Because Fu's down to only 10 now with 2 fights to go.
Little bit of misfortune there for Saradin. Had Fu in the front row, was taking full damage from those guards, then tried to use Stone, but unfortunately he's not going to work on the guards. As we discussed earlier, that no free bosses flag is turned on, so you do have to deal their full HP and damage here to get through this.
I think that was a Stone cast. I don't think Saradin remembers.
Yeah, that's one of the tricky things about the Slapdash, is just having to keep track of all of these bizarre, nonsensical flag changes. Usually there's a theme we're going for in community races or in standard competitions. We've got, a reasonable setup of flags for specific purposes. But here we've just got random things switched on and off. It can be very difficult to keep track of. It looks like Saradin might be trying to set up some cover strats here, putting Cecil in the back row. Always love to see these kind of strategies here. Cecil is incredibly powerful when used as a tank like this. So let's see if this helps him out in this situation.
There's the Quake cast. And there's the cover. You called it.
Yeah, still taking a lot of damage on that Cecil, but ooh, gosh, we're just short of the damage we need. One more Quake should do it. And Cecil stays out of that critical HP. That was big. If Cecil's critical, still not enough. If Cecil's critical he does not cover anymore. So it was big that he saved it there, but still just one punch too many.
Yeah, and Saradin got really unlucky on the damage rolls. Like, Poidrak got multiple rolls over 3k, and Saradin didn't get any. So hopefully this Quake goes better. Well, he's just going to cast Nuke, I think.
And today the job dwarf is a dispatcher. Very good logistics there from the dwarf. And I believe with that spoon that we just found in Dwarf Castle, we have got a Spoony Bard today.
We do. And that'll be interesting. I think Saradin might be a little bit unhappy that he got rid of his Edward, but then again, max party 4, sometimes you have to, do the replacements that you think are important.
Yeah, indeed. And gets through that fight there, having some difficulty with it, manages to power through. Great job on Saradin's part. He's going to go take the safety save before fighting Mylon and friends here.
Does Saradin have any... Oh, yeah. This is something that as a runner, I struggle with sometimes. Every time you fight either Rubicant or the element spawn in the vanilla game, you get a free heal. And so you don't need to worry about whether or not you have tents or cabins. Poitrak showing us some jumps you can do in the Fey March where you're walking on air a little bit. We see the Legend Sword from the free chest.
Oh, that's a good shot there with Cure 3s and Legend Sword Big 2. Already got that Adamant. Does Poitrak still have the Adamant, or did he reset out of Ordeals? I cannot remember.
That is a good question. I know he spent a lot of time up there, so I would hope that he eventually went back down.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, if that is the case, then he is online for his Super Forge, which is very, very exciting. There's a lot of really cool things available there. Not a very enthralling Fey March there. None of those bosses necessary. Poitrak's on his way out.
And Esco throwing a bone to some of our favorite other restreamers with a splash of vanilla with Vanilla Leviathan.
And we'll get some checks here. The Sylphs won't have anything available. We don't have Case Summon on. But the 2 checks that we're going to get out of this from Sheila herself are definitely going to be something Poitrak's going to want to see.
And if you haven't watched a lot of Push B to Jump, then you may have noticed that Poitrak skipped basically the whole cave. With Push B to Jump, there are only... I like to jump behind the Sylph. That's clever.
I'm curious, does she still move down to give them the item?
I expect so.
Okay, yes. Artemis Arrow is a nice find. If we get one of Rosa's bows from the Super Forge, that could be very nice for Cecil, who I think can equip them.
Nah, unfortunately, the Perseus bow is Rosa only.
My mistake.
Yeah, there are some shareable weapons, but the Perseus bow is not one of them.
Well, then let's hope we don't get those.
All right, so Saradin threw Mylon and friends so he's on to the underground while we see what Sheila has for us. Hopefully Sheila has the goods. Oh, Poitrak going to Fubul Defense, successfully completing the 1 trip to Fubul.
It is the dream of every router is to get the 1 trip Fubul. Poitrak will have it now. This is also going to mean he's going to pick up the Darkness Crystal here, which will eventually lead him to that Cecil.
Another little bit of good routing. What's nice about the 1 trip Fubul, especially if that 1 trip, especially if you haven't done the defense check, you get a full heal before and after the boss fight. So Fu back up to 190 MP.
Yeah, very nice thing to keep in mind early in the game when you're struggling to find a way to get your party back up to full health without going completely out of your way.
But also after going through the Fey March and Sylph Cave with all of the damage tiles.
Absolutely. I don't know if I would call those the goods.
Me neither.
I mean, I don't think we've seen sirens in shops yet, so...
It's S, no J. So
oh, it is, yeah, so there literally are not. Yeah, so that's, there's your grind, Poitrak. Enjoy it. Make the most of it.
Yeah, we'll take I guess with Porum and Fu, maybe you get a double life. No, that's not even the life glitch. I don't even know what you would do with that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, well, maybe a 10 key item, gold dragon fight would maybe be the best use, but no, can't even really do that. I mean, it would still be a lot of XP. We just wouldn't get the 50% bonus from the life glitch there.
If we had more Star Veils, I would think Fu and friends, but I think, well, we're looking ahead to the Zoramus fight already. Maybe we should focus a little bit more on where they are in the mid game.
Fair enough. And there's
like
a good use of that
protect rings,
infinite
though.
dash. Yeah, the protect rings, absolutely. Flan sword.
Ooh, the Flandango. Come on, Poitrak. I know what you're going to use the siren for.
Oh,
Or
is
at
this
least I hope
happening? So tell us about why this is so exciting.
So there is one room in the game where in the lunar subterrane on the moon where you can use the siren and it will summon a pack of 5 pink puffs. Now, pink puffs are a little bit of a meme in the community, but they give fantastic GP. We don't need that, but they also give pretty good experience as well. The fun part about the Flan sword or the Flandango that we just found is that it is a strong weapon against Flan type enemies, of which the pink puffs are one. And so I think we've got ourselves a grind. Also, the pink puffs fight is fantastic.
Yes,
we're gonna get. I think maybe we should, if it happens, I think maybe we might stay quiet a little bit, enjoy some tunes.
Oh, 100%. Completely agree.
And Poitrak's going to be pretty happy when he goes up to the moon and sees the Cecil who can equip the Flandango.
Yeah, I've got to wonder if maybe Poitrak just stays on the moon and tries to clear it out and does the boss checks there.
It is certainly an option. Interestingly, Saradin reset out of Dwarf Castle and is flying away. I think he's not going to find the spoon. Which, honestly, I think that's okay.
Yeah, he's already decided not to take Edward, so, I mean, he's not going to miss out on much from Fading Dwarf. So, honestly, perfectly fine with this from him.
He'll be happy in the spoiler log and the race spoilers channel afterwards.
And here comes the good news for Poitrak. Morpheus, are you trying to tell me that there's misinformation on the internet? About a Final Fantasy game? Invenerable with the raid. Welcome, everybody. We are in the midst of a very, very fun Sunday Slapdash. We've got the Flandango and a Cecil to use it, and Poitrak's on the moon. We might be seeing some pink puff action here before long.
Rybon in chat asking a good question. Can Cecil get slingshotted, or however you want to form the past participle of that word, with max 4 party members? The answer is no. You need 5 party members for the slingshot 10 key item bonus.
That's one of those things to keep in mind in party size 4. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's somewhat unfortunate. We do still have the 10 key items bonus, which. Woo, Poitrak is at 10 key items.
Yeah, I'm really liking this play from Poitrak here, just immediately diving into the moon. You're already here. You've got a powerful character in Fusoya. You've got, Cecil in your party. Got an Avenger for him. Just get some experience on him. You're going to be getting double experience from all of these, high-value XP targets on the moon. So go ahead, do it. Look for those bosses you need. Really like this.
So up first, we see the Magus Sisters at the Murasame altar spot. And this spot is somewhat threatening, but as you can see with the Protect Rings, I think taking a lot less damage than we might otherwise would.
Yeah, it's really difficult to overstate how much value we're going to be getting out of those Protect Rings in these fights on the moon. They can hit very, very, very hard, but those Protect Rings, such a good accessory for keeping everybody alive so they get the experience from these fights.
Well, okay, sorry, Edward, but we'll get you back up maybe soon.
I mean, despite, how good a Protect Ring is, Edward is still Edward. So Sheridan checking in on Yang there does not have the pan because has not been to Zot yet. But as we know, Sheila, no goods today. So again, not missing out on much here. Going to go into Luca Cave here. So this is going to be our first check into the Sealed Cave.
I don't mind this check. If, there is the boss down there, and there's no other way to see that boss except by going in. So we need 6 bosses. It's our. And knows to do the jump on the left. Very good, Sheridan.
All these tricky jumps that you've got to memorize when you do push B to jump.
And got hit with the rope of shame. It is the movement in Sealed Cave is very challenging because you have to know exactly where you're going on each floor. And with push B, you can do a couple different jumps that save you time.
So Poydrak did have to give up on that Magus Sisters fight. Is going to go deeper into the subterranean here and check in on some of the other bosses. So while our runners are kind of going through the dungeons here, I do want to give a huge shout out to the team behind the scenes bringing this race to you. We've got Ake here doing the tracking, lighting the things up, making sure we are all in the know on what the score is. And Ascorian, of course, handling the restream duties. Without her, we do not have a stream at all. So big shout out to both of them. We have a phenomenal restream team here volunteering their time to make sure we can all be entertained. So huge shout out to them.
So we see Ashura at the Crystal Sword altar. And we've found the package at Sealed Cave. So let's see who the boss is.
We got to start seeing some objective bosses here soon.
That's not one of them.
And so resetting on the fight, but maybe going back? Oh, probably going to jump, get the item and jump over the boss to leave.
Right,
yeah,
yes.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, no need to do the boss. That package, though, there is one boss hidden behind it, so don't want to leave it behind if you can avoid it. Very good jump there from Sheridan to avoid the fight.
And some good jumps from Poydrak to quickly descend through the LST floor 5. Skip the pink puff room. Not sure if he's going to go and save and come back, or if he's just, letting memes be memes and taking on some of the other boss fights.
It looks like it's boss fights for now.
I do like jumping the ribbon room spot first to see if there are any good items to check.
Yeah, Crystal Ring, not a bad pickup at all.
Yeah, definitely, would be an upgrade. Well, you have to wonder about agility, but would be a good upgrade for either, or for anyone, really.
Sheridan's expedition into the Sealed Cave is over, out with the package, and heading back into the overworld. Looks like probably going to check in on Sheila here.
Yeah, and it turns... Whoa.
Oh, it might be happening, folks.
No, just Skull Dragon.
Poydrak. come on. Doing the safe expected play.
I don't mind this because you can weak the gold dragons and then no life glitch, so you just need to get a week off, and then Avenger Cecil will finish the rest.
Yeah, this play makes absolutely a lot of sense. Like we mentioned, enormous amount of experience from this fight. We're not going to get the life glitch here, unfortunately, because that flag is turned off. But still, a ton of XP all the same, and minimum level Cecil is definitely going to appreciate that.
And Entangle on Fusoya is not what you want, though. Oh, never mind. He's back up.
He just had to take a little bit of a paralysis nap, but he's okay now.
I've seen Entangle last a long time, but I think Fu is... There's something about the duration of paralysis that, if you're lower level, you're gonna... I think if you're lower level, you're going to stay paralyzed longer, but I'm not sure if that's accurate.
Yeah, that I'm not sure. I don't know the specific formula, but it sounds right, so I'm going to believe it.
It's certainly variable, and luckily for Poitrak, Fu got up pretty quickly.
Ton of experience there for his party. Going to be in a much better spot to take some of these fights on. And Sarah to get into a random encounter here is this?
Knocking Porum down. Not sure why.
I'm very interested in what Saradin is setting up for here. Oh, going into Baron Castle, is this for Golbez?
That, yeah, that's a good call.
Yeah, it looks like that might be the case here. Meanwhile, we got leg. This moon play already paying off for Poitrak, as we have gotten another one of our fiend fights here on the moon.
And this is White Spear Altar, correct? Or is this the Ribbon Room?
I believe this is the Ribbon Room. I think he went to the end of the hallway.
So Avenger Cecil doing a pretty good job, but every time he swings, you're going to eat a Fire 2 counter, which it's not doing a lot of damage, but it does take time.
Yeah, it takes time. Got to sit through the animation. Is going to kind of wear you down in a longer attrition fight here, and it's not like we have access to a lot of Cure All here, because you're going to want Fusoya to be dealing the damage he can as well.
It's a shame we haven't found an Ice Claw, because Yang would be able to do big damage with no counter, but no Ice Claw.
Ooh, Fu takes that glare on the chin like a champ, stays on his feet. That's very, very nice for Poitrak here.
Yeah, very kind glare is only doing 1600 damage. Glare is one of those attacks that you see it in the wrong spot and all of a sudden quad 9s.
Yeah, certainly one of the more volatile abilities you can see. It is it's rare that you see it hit low enough to survive. And we're finally seeing the multi-target Cure 4 getting whipped out here.
And on Saradin's side, he's through Golbez. Bring yourself down to 2 upright party members strat works out perfectly.
Yep, if there's characters you specifically want up for that fight, well, you know it's coming up, engineer it yourself. So very well done there by Saradin. And Poydrak has got to be getting close to the end of this fight at this point. This is the combined HP totals of both D-Lunars in this fight, so it's a high amount of HP. But he's been at it for a bit, so hopefully it won't be too much longer for him. Be able to get another notch in his belt as far as objectives completed.
And in the meantime, you know, our boy Edward hanging out in the back, dodging all the Fire 2 counters.
He learns by watching. He's a visual learner.
Well, do you think maybe he'll learn how to take glares for 4K damage?
I mean, it's an acquired skill. You gotta practice that. You do anything a million times or what have you, and you become a master, right?
Very true.
Just glare at Edward as much as you can, and before you know, he's tanking him.
And on Saradin's side, he has picked up his Avenger and is now going to, well, stopping at the Dwarf Heal Pot. So I guess Avenger Cecil for both of our runners now. Oh, and we get the I lost now, but I shall return text. Very good. So that text shows up when you've done almost enough damage to defeat Rubicon, but not entirely.
And there is objective 3. Well, not quite. There was temporarily objective 3, but then we forget objective 3 on this board is also the element.
Yeah, it's half of objective 3.
Half of objective 3. I would never talk heck about Best Boy, Asuka. Just like you'd never talk bad about Cecil, right?
Right. So who do we have at White Spear Altar? Ooh, Bahamut. Are you going to take this fight? Looks like it.
Yeah, I don't blame him for it. We still might have some bosses behind key items here, so you might as well clear it out, get the experience, even though it isn't much compared to the last fight, and get the key item check-in. Not like this is going to be a terribly difficult fight.
Now, this boss does not have overly many hit points, and with Avenger Cecil hitting for 2k and Spoonword hitting for 2k, with a little bit of help from Yang, I think we're in some good shape. Ooh, almost 3k from Edward.
Yeah, it's a sparse party, but I'm actually kind of liking this composition here with Spoonword. I've gotten to the point where we're dishing out some pretty consistent melee damage. I really do like it.
Ooh, but here's the Mega Nuke. Ouch. Not quite enough damage.
Yeah, unfortunately, just a little too much damage there for Edward to tank.
Edward and Yang and Cecil, and although Edward potentially, well, if you berserk Edward, you can't hide with him, so you're banking on being able to, being able to dish out enough damage.
Yeah, it's very difficult to hide while angry.
Isn't that true? Yeah, this spot only has 28k hit points, but I think Poijak was probably only 2 or 3k away. Needed one more round.
Yeah, it was very, very close. So just getting a couple of walls up here for safety should be all that he needs to get through this. And even if not everybody survives, like we mentioned, not an enormous amount of experience at this spot. So if not everybody gets it, it's not the end of the world.
All right, okay, there's the successful hide, and we have walls up, so.
Very well done.
Yeah,
and down goes.
Yeah, Fu doesn't need the experience, right?
He's experienced enough. It has 1984 HP. This is literally George Orwell's Animal Crossing.
And there's a cat claw, speaking of animals. So there's a cat claw for Yang. That's a pretty good item. Immediately equip that over, well, you can do cat claw poison claw for a little bit more strength, or you could do cat claw thunder claw for elemental damage. It has 99 accuracy. So for Yang at any stage of the game, it is his best weapon that's not a super smith.
Indeed, yeah, it is just the general all-purpose good to have claw. So Yang will definitely appreciate that upgrade. Ooh, little cheeky push me to jump shortcut to the core. Didn't know about that one. Good to know.
Oh yeah, that one tile gap, fantastic.
Hey, more fiends.
This is rude.
It is. Is this going to be? No, I'm still able to hit with Cecil, so should be good.
Yeah, but I think Fu is going to be Fu's on white mage duty, so this is going to be the other three sort of hacking and whacking Val for a little bit while Fu keeps the party alive.
Yeah, this is Master Splinter telling the turtles to go forth for the first time. I've trained you, for the last hour and 2 minutes, and now it's your turn to bring justice to the world. I think Edward is definitely Michelangelo.
I'm going to make no comment because I don't need chat roasting me. All right, we see Saradin having gone back for Dwarf Castle, makes it all the way through the Alt Gauntlet, and what do we see? There's the spoon that Saradin probably doesn't want to see, but now Saradin is also at 10 key items.
Yep, and there is still an Edward sitting on Mount Hobbs, so I'll be curious to see if Saradin heads up there and maybe makes a party swap.
Well, it is not C-Buy, right? So he can just go to Mysidia and pick him back up, which potentially could be what's happening.
I mean, yeah, if you want to do it the easy way, sure. Back in my day, we didn't have the Tower of Wishes.
Oh, bypasses Edward.
Well, now.
Goodbye, Tella. Hello, Yang.
And wow, not interested in a bard today. Now says, no thank you. I'll hold on to this spoon as a memento of this seed.
And we see Saradin going to the underground. Looks like he's going to use his one siren on an egg.
Yeah, this is not going to get as much value as Poydrak, and I believe is only at 9 key items, so is going to get even less. Ooh, there's an Excalibur.
I'd love to see it.
You do indeed. Great pickup for Poydrak. We can just get the Excalivenger going on for Cecil and Zoramus, and even if you're limiting his level because of agility purposes, still going to do a tremendous amount of damage with that combo.
And so one interesting thing about the randomizer, so recently version 4.4 came out with a little bit of a rebalance in the item tiers. So Cecil's Holy Swords, the Crystal Sword and the Excalibur, and the Adamant Armor have been bumped up from what was the old tier 7, so these are the most powerful items in the game, up to tier 8, and they're in a tier all on its own. Interestingly, some quests, the rewards you could get from doing quests have been rebalanced as well. So you can't get a Crystal Sword or any other tier 8 from any checks or gated checks before going to the moon. And we're on T Pro, right? I had to double check to make sure I was saying correct things. So in the T Pro waiting, you can only find things like the Excalibur on the moon. So pretty lucky that Poydrak got that.
Yeah, that is actually very, very interesting to point out. Yeah, you're absolutely right. That is a very lucky Excalibur pull. And it looks like we might get a brief encore of the Fairy Fountain theme here from Ceridan, as they are now heading into Cave Magnus with the harp in hand.
So we'll set the over-under for the number of complete bars that the Fairy Fountain theme sounds at 3, or 3.5, sorry. Place your bets in chat.
And yet, correction to what I said earlier, Ceridan did have 10 key items when he did that egg fight, so I apologize. I miscounted the items on screen, so did get that full experience.
Right, and 60, I think it's 68k from an egg with the 10 key items bonus. That's not bad, but it's not 2 gold dragons.
Correct, yeah, not anything to sneeze at. If you feel like you need an immediate boost in power, that is definitely a play to make.
So on the other side, we see Poydrak getting set up for Ashura at the Crystal Sword altar. You can see Cure 3 doing 300, healing for 300, but Cure 4 will still heal to full. So Poydrak setting up blinks so that Ashura's counters don't wipe his party, and setting a wall on Ashura so that Ashura does not heal herself. And I think now we're going to get Excal Cecil going. Yeah.
Yep, here he goes. And while that happens, we'll get our reprise of music here. So Ceridan is through that fight, giving us a little bit of more of the fairy theme there. And over on Poydrak's side, pulling the pink tail from that fight with Azura, that means he's going to have Excaliment Cecil, that's basically all you need for Zoramus.
Excalavengerment, I guess.
A Scalavengerment, yeah, I like it. It's we're going with that.
Fantastic. And Saradin actually taking the fight, and then exiting all the way out. So Saradin still has the package. We haven't seen the package check, right?
We have not. There is one boss hiding in that package check, the memeiest of the meme bosses. If it is one of our required bosses, definitely a hysterical turn of events.
But we see Saradin going over to the whale. Are we going to see a check, maybe?
Yes, Saradin might be thinking it's moon time.
It is moon time.
Got that glass helmet on Cecil. That's actually a really nice piece of kit if you want to set up protect Cecil strats like we've seen. Can really help nullify a lot of physical-based bosses. Just put Cecil in the back row, throw a glass hat on him for enormous amounts of defense, and just let him tank things for the rest of your party.
So Saradin is going to check Cave Bahamut. We haven't seen that yet. Podrak went straight to the LST. So here's our first look at who the boss in the Vanilla Bahamut spot is.
Yeah, right you are. And Podrak might be hot on Saradin's heels here because that is the only check he has left on the moon at this point. Oh, that's required.
Oh no, that's so rude. Actually, that spot is not as fast as some of the other spots on the moon. However, it does have 37,000 hit points.
Yeah, it's never anything to sneeze at, but it could be in a worse spot in the moon. You're absolutely right.
Looks like Saradin's gonna try and he hit the reset button. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, doesn't want to jump right into that fight immediately. Wants to go take some of the other fights in the moon, get some experience, build his team up, and then come back to that. Don't blame him. Kainazo is just a nasty fight.
Yeah, a super good idea to get some levels and then come back once you feel a lot more comfortable, because a low level Kainazo fight, very technical, requires precise ATB shenanigans, and we don't really have that right now.
And here's Podrak's attempt. Removed that Avenger before coming in so that he can set up the auto Berserk on the Excalibur. Casual 4,800 damage from Cecil there.
Oh. Mole Boy brings up a very good point with the Valvalis at Masa Altar. It is push B to jump. Let's not forget, you can push B to jump outside of battle, but you can also push B to jump inside of battle.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I've got to think that Podrak might have done that intentionally, not wanting to do trigger Valvalis' other state, because then she's not going to do that punch that she does whenever she gets knocked out, and just wanted to keep it as it was since his melee characters were hitting anyway. That might have been an intentional play on Podrak's part, but yeah, absolutely right. Can jump and knock her out of that whirlwind whenever you want.
I agree with you. I think the right play was to leave Val in tornado form. She's just less threatening. If you don't need to do magic damage, often it's better to leave her in tornado form.
Yeah, much more manageable script there, especially if she's in a particularly punchy spot. Let Porum jump. Yeah, that is actually another valid argument. I take back everything I just said. Let Porum jump, please.
Is that going to be the next copy paste in chat? Let Porum jump.
If I have my way, it will be.
All right, Podrak's through Kainazo, gets a white spear for his efforts. Not exactly a useful item, but that is an objective complete. Objective number 2 for Podrak. And we see Saradin tackling the Rubicant spot.
Hang on, I had to resub real quick so that I can do the quorum thing.
All right, and while Saradin's going through the Rubicon fight, we see Poitrak heading to the giant. So there's our giant check. There are two bosses up here, two of the most powerful bosses in the game, the vanilla elements and the vanilla CPU fights. We see elements with a ton of HP and CPU with both very high physical and magic attack. So we'll see what happens. Notably, on push B to jump, you can skip both of them. You can skip. Well, obviously there's no key item reward at the end of giant, but you can skip the elements fight if you find it's not to your liking.
So how much are you willing to bet that both of these fights are required?
Well, we've seen most of this. We've seen most of the spots. I haven't been. I have a tracker up, but I've been carefully watching the stream instead of clicking all the buttons on my tracker. So I'm not.
I'm thinking we've got Super Cannon Room we haven't seen.
Yeah.
Package Boss we haven't seen. Is there anything else?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think we've done everything else. So this is. Here we go.
So this is 50-50. I think I understand statistics. Nope. Oh.
That's a Baiken.
Well, the good news is that's a jumpable spot. So Poitrak can just leap right over that and check the CPU spot.
Yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad we don't have to see that fight. CPU, on the other hand.
Ooh, French vanilla elements. French vanilla mints. So this is actually an easier elements fight because they have a drastically reduced HP from what they would have at that spot before. And you've got to be, if you're Poitrak, you're thinking, thank goodness this is push B to jump, because Baiken at the element spot is a little bit of a nightmare.
And thankfully, this team has enough firepower to get through each of the phases relatively quickly. So Rubicon didn't have a chance to cast party-wide Fire 2, Fire 3 Glare.
Yeah, right you are.
Ooh, and that's a quad nines.
Chef's kiss. Oh, you love to see it.
Mwah.
And so now Poitrak just needs to find Mylon Z. Is it behind that package? Is it in that super tower? Poitrak's probably hoping it's the super tower because he still has not gotten that package, has not been down in that sealed cave just yet.
And it looks like, Poitrak does have the tower key, so I think that's the only check. So where was the package again? That's a good question.
That was in the sealed cave.
Yes, okay. So Poitrak's thinking he's had access to sealed cave for a while, but he found the tower key. I think it was was it on the moon? Or was it was
indeed. Else? It was I want to say it was Chris Masamune altar, but I could be wrong. It was one of those fights there.
I'm sure someone in chat will tell us, potentially our tracker.
Yeah, chat is way better at my job than I am.
So we see.
Okay. Thank you, Ascorian.
So Poitrak diving using the Luca key, gonna dive sealed cave. Probably, will reset out at the end. I think won't take. It could take the package. That's a good question, but you can jump past the boss and then warp out. So luckily on push B to jump, this check is slightly faster than it is without the flag. So we'll see.
Ooh, another rope of shame.
Ooh,
getting both of our runners tonight, yeah. Gonna have to go back into the lab and work on that rope tech.
Like I said, this movement is hard.
And back into a Sora fight, this time Saradin taking her on, and looks like is getting a very similar setup to how Poydrak did the fight, setting Blink up on the team to avoid those counterattacks, and then Cecil is going to go ham with his equipment. Has Poydrak turned in his pink tail yet? I don't think he has.
I don't believe so. Well, there's the package, and now let's watch Poydrak make the precise jump. Oh, going to take the fight because hasn't checked the spot. We know it's not the right boss fight, but he does not.
Correct, and has not reset out of this. At this point, might be thinking it might be faster to just go through the fight than resetting out and doing it again.
Avenger Excal, yeah.
If you didn't know how good effective damage was in Final Fantasy IV, here is a demonstration.
Gotta watch out for the virus cast though, because this spot has very high magic. Yang thankfully taking it like a champ.
What a pro. Yang showing off how valuable that HP pool of his is.
You don't like to see Cecil get whacked with the virus though.
No, not when he's your main source of damage, but he's already hit that back dragon once. It's just going to take a follow-up cast here from Kusoya to put him out of his misery. And down goes D. Lunar. And answer question in chat. Yes, they are indeed limited to 4 characters in this flag. I'm sorry, go ahead, Sai.
Oh, it's okay. So we see some warping out of Sealed Cave. Interesting note about Sealed Cave. Some of these walls, I was hoping Poydrak was gonna show us. You can jump out of there. You go. So some of these walls, you can jump over, and then they're return tiles. So they actually do the same thing as warp with a much faster animation.
I don't like that. That's cheating. We've crossed a line. Push me to jump. We've crossed a line at this point.
And Saradin has got past his Ashura fight, gets his pink tail. We see Poydrak going straight to tower. Here we go.
This is going to be a big check here. If Poydrak finds Mylon Z here in the super cannon, then we know the critical path that has to be taken. If not, we know that it's going to be behind the package. Trying to think if there are any extraneous checks left for Poydrak, or if he's going to go right for package as well. I think yeah, he would have to go right for package. I don't think there's anything left for him other than this.
Yeah.
It is package.
Ooh. You hate to see it, but you love to see it.
I mean, chat, we just saw we not only required package, but required giant. So there you go. The double cursed seed.
Thanks, Ascorian.
And there's Edward number, 13, 14?
Lots.
Ooh, a lot of antlion claws inside that package today. This does not spark joy.
Whoa, and Podrick still has the Avenger on.
Yeah, it's gonna drag this out a little bit longer. Yes, Gordon pointing out 65,000 hit points here in this spot.
And you can defeat this spot. It progresses the story just like it would otherwise. It just ends the battle, and then you go through the Titan, the post battle cutscene. It normally requires some specific agility setup and a lot of firepower, often multiple nukes, etc. Omnidextrous allows you to do that a lot more easily. One of our wacky flags. But we don't have that on. So instead, we just watched Avenger Cecil whack Spoony Bard for, probably 14k damage, and then we see Titan.
All right, moment of truth. Either this is Mylon Z or we have missed something critical. This is where I should be confident in what's happening, but I'm actually kind of worried. It's like, oh gosh, have I forgotten something?
Yeah, I'm going to be confident. Well, I'm going to be confident. This is Mylon Z.
Okay, good to show confidence on your first outing. I like it. It is. That's a purple robe. And goodbye.
And that is, as far as I can tell, that is Podrick's Crystal.
It is indeed. And actually, did Podrick ever pick up the pass in Mysidia? I don't think he did. It's not lit up, and I don't think he ever went to that shop. Yeah. So he's going to have to take the walk down the subterrane here.
That depends. Podrick could hunt the pass, because we know, these flags are known, so he knows it's in a shop somewhere. Is it likely to take less time to hunt the pass? I don't know, but he checked the, you're going to check the Kaipo shop because you're right there, but we'll see if he goes anywhere else.
Yeah, let's see what he decides. I'm very curious now.
As Saradin goes back in for the another crack at the Rubicant fight.
First, he's going to go get his adamant armor, so yeah.
Yes, Podrick doing the smart thing. You have a free adamant, might as well take the 20 seconds to get it.
Yep, it makes that much of a difference. Absolutely worth it. One of the most broken pieces of kit in any Final Fantasy to date.
And see, that's why, well, that's not why. One of the reasons why we were sort of hoping to see the Pink Puffs fight is that the rare pink tail drop from the Pink Puffs, that's actually been replaced in Free Enterprise with, just dropping an adamant armor. So that would have been fun, but no luck. Yeah,
in the vanilla game, that is how you get the pink tail. Legitimately is from that Pink Puff fight. It is a 1 in 64 drop, I think, if my memory serves.
It is quite rare.
I certainly didn't know it existed growing up.
You did better than me. I never got to the moon when I played FF4 when I was a kid. Well, I think I got to the moon, but I struggled after that. Scala-Kitty in chat just say, if we get an adamant armor drop, we'll just pack up the whole channel. We're done. All right.
We've beaten. Yeah, that's how Free Enterprise ends. Is a adamant from a Pink Puff fight. You heard it here, folks.
Yeah, we'll just no more restreams. Maybe who knows? We might even if we tell Board, he might stop developing the game. We'll just it's done. Legacy project. Move on to something else. Maybe we'll all play FF5 Career Day or something.
That's when we move on to the after years randomizer.
Ooh, shots fired. All right, on Saradin's side, we still see Rubicant. This party composition is, it's good. It's good enough. But you see Psych cast from Fusoya, kind of running out of MP is a big deal, because Fusoya only starts with 190 MP, and all of his high-powered spells cost a lot.
Fortunately, you do have a fantastic mana battery in the form of Cecil there, so he's a really good target for that Psych spell. Problem is large casting time on Psych. So, things can go south very quickly while you're waiting for that spell to go off.
Ooh, my favorite. Poidrak, you're a hero. Swag walking and swag jumping to... Oh, you can't jump. There you go. Ooh, you can walk on that towel. I didn't know that. Poidrak not saving, going to the Zoramus fight. And then you can see all the jumps down the lunar core. This is one of my favorite parts of this walk on push speed to jump. Yeah. But Smape D, I see something in chat.
Well, Scythe, it is indeed your first time in the booth, so I am going to cede the question to you. So for the first time ever, you can ask chat what they're burning to hear.
Right. So, as I'm sure many of you know, but some of you might not, Zoramus is too powerful to be randomized anywhere else in the game, so we leave him where he is. That, at the end of the game. But we have some fun with him, and Zoramus is, Zoramus is a pretty, big sprite, lots of room. Some of my fellow restreamers like to say he likes to cosplay. So, one thing we like to ask is, whose butt are we gonna kick tonight? So we'll see which random sprite Zoramus becomes today. And I know some of my other friends like to ask, is it cute? I like to ask, does it have a butt?
Oh, that is a good question. Yeah. No butt. There is no butt.
Aw, Poidrak.
This for those that don't know, the Sunday Slapdash is indeed Poidrak's baby, and this is going to be a hiatus for it as we go back into tournament mode. So, little farewell message from Poidrak to everybody there.
And this, as far as I'm aware, this boss is from Link to the Past, I think, Legend of Zelda.
You are indeed boss of Misery Mire. And yeah, no butt, but definitely cute. The eyes have it. The eyes have it.
I heard the joke.
Okay.
As someone who is very well versed in Robert's Rules of Order and similar things, I am very appreciative of the joke. However, I am concerned that we might have to do. We're gonna have to do this again. Oh boy.
Hubris on stream.
Yeah, it's a hard fight. So one thing to note, right? Cecil's agility. Cecil is the anchor. So if Cecil's agility is at a good value, so often we 28 or 29, 42, 43, somewhere, some of those values where Zoramus is hitting breakpoints in his relative agility value. If you can set Cecil's agility up right, then this fight goes okay, but sometimes Zoramus can just take too many turns. And I think that was what happened there.
Yeah, very unfortunate. Double checking here. And yeah, we still have not had anyone finish this race. We only have 2 runners on stream, but there are actually 9 people altogether running the seed at the same time. So we still don't have a winner yet. If Poidrak can rebound here, get back into the fight, still could win this overall.
And it's not so surprising because, 6 bosses, and one of them, we had a boss at CPU and we had a boss at package and a boss on the hook route. So definitely some hidden boss fights. On Saradin's side, we saw some push B strats, right? We jumped to get Val out of tornado phase, but I don't know. Looks kind of sketchy. Ooh,
yeah, and that was
reset.
That was what we were talking about the that kind of nastier AI script that Val has when you knock her out of tornado form. Very punchy, knocking your characters out there. Might just be better to rely on physical damage and keep her as a tornado there.
Oh, Solaris mentioning in chat that Poitrak might not have realized that that vanilla agility was on.
Yeah, as we mentioned, it can be so difficult to keep track of what flags are on in a Sunday Slapdash race. Difficult to keep those things together. He did take the save this time, so if things do go awry, won't have to be punished quite as much as he was last time.
Mm-hmm. Take 2. What's your favorite question to ask about the Zoramus sprite, Smeepty?
It might be whether it has a butt or not now. Oh, and a quick reset there. Didn't like his setup. Oh, didn't have the battle speed set to 3. Wants to go in.
Oh
with
boy.
That. Understandable.
Yeah, battle speed 1 makes that fight very tough. So, interestingly, battle speed 1, obviously the fastest battle speed. It makes the ATB go so fast that even the tool-assisted speed run loses ATB ticks to input. So, dropping battle speed from 1 to 3, probably a good decision to make sure that you get some of your actions in.
Yeah, just a much safer fight overall. But yeah, to answer your question, it used to be, is butt cute, but it wasn't a very interesting question because I live and die by the idea that all butts are cute. Oh, and speaking of cute, Poitrak showing off the Easter egg. If you jump over Zoramus, yeah, there's just a bunch of foos in there. And you can even talk.
Hey, guys.
You can even talk. Hey, guys.
Poitrak, the hero we have, maybe not the hero we deserve. He is much more.
I love the hey guy. That's probably my favorite part of that Easter egg. Saradin is through the Maga Sisters fight and is one step closer to finishing off the moon here. And we do have a first place finisher. Dark Cobalt has just finished the seed with a time of 1 hour, 40 minutes, 9 seconds. GG's to Dark Cobalt for finishing this off.
GG's. This is a pretty tough seed. There was lots to do, and we had some stuff to work with, like Vanilla Foo and Cecil, but not a lot of stuff to work with.
Yeah, it's rare that you get a seed that where you start with a fully powered Foo and things still just manage to be tricky just because of the bosses you have to fight and the fact that Foo, as much of a Swiss Army knife as he is, doesn't have all the answers sometimes. Just most of them.
So here's an attempted nerf. We've got Edward gonna try and throw the crystal, and it does get off in time. I think this is nerfed. I think this Big Bang will not wipe his party.
Should be.
And on the left, woo, is this a treasury sighting?
I think it is.
You know what that means?
I give that a Thunderclaw out of 10.
Yeah, Light Sword's okay, but yeah.
Yeah, Thunderclaw and Silkweb. Silkweb is actually a really good pull there, since we do not have J items available in shops. That Silkweb is 2 layers of the slow spell, which is very useful against Zoramus.
Okay, so here's another Big Bang. This one is full power, unfortunately. Did not get the nerf off. So let's see, are we gonna get a Cure 4 in time?
There is the black hole that is going to dispel all of the party members. Thankfully, that Avenger gives auto Berserk to Cecil, so he does not need to worry about being dispelled. He is going to continue fighting. And second place has just crossed the line. Antidale finishing with a time of 1 hour, 42 minutes, 56 seconds. And GG's to Antidale.
Yeah, it looks like some of our racers have found that Mylan Zed at the package. So we might see some of the other runners coming through soon. Meanwhile, we see Saradin making the Earth Crystal check.
This ends up giving the pan, which unfortunately not going to provide anything except a silver apple.
So I'm concerned for Pojak a little bit because Cure 4 costs 40 MP. You need more than 190 MP to cast it 5 times, and I think we're coming up on a 4th or 5th Cure 4 cast soon.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. We're kind of getting down to the wire, and resources are going to be thin soon. You're going to want to see rocks soon if you're Poydrak. Oh, there's an Ether 2. Should be okay.
Yeah, and the Cure 3 from the Cure 3 potion from Yang, I think is helpful. It's just you sometimes you have to worry about, do you have enough healing to actually, keep all 3 of your party members up and going.
Now it's going to be a question of, if the rocks start falling now, is this heal going to get out in time to save Fu and Yang? Yep, still shaking, so he should be okay.
Yeah, I think Yang at full health would survive the combo platter, the Big Bang, unnerf Big Bang into Meteor, but not only at 2100.
Oh, there goes Fu. It's make or break time now for Poydrak. Gonna have to finish off finish off Zoramus now. Well, there's the black hole. That's gonna unberserk Yang, and he'll be able to recover this. I spoke too soon.
Yeah, that nuke.
Curse. Cecil, it's all on you, buddy.
Now, so here's where we play is Adamant Armor the most broken piece of equipment? Oh, there are rocks. It is the most broken piece of equipment.
Wow. Not even seeing the rocks fall. Cecil just sidesteps them like a pro. 2 in a row. Cecil does not want to see that Meteor today. Can we get a third? 3 in a row.
Let's go, Cecil.
And that should be it. There There he goes. Down goes Zoramus. Cecil clutching it out with the adamant armor, and Poydrak finishing today's Sunday Slapdash in third place with a time of 1 hour, 46 minutes, 34 seconds. GG's to Poydrak, and let's see if we can pick his brain here for a little bit.
Let's hope so. I'm very excited to talk to Poydrak.
He will be in just a moment. And yeah, just a reminder, this will be the last Sunday Slapdash here for a bit. We are going into our Zoramus Zone 4 tournament, which is going to dominate most of our broadcasting for the next couple of months. And this, of course, being Poydrak's personal project. Definitely happy to have him in here and joining us for this match. Poydrak, 3 Meteor dodges in a row. Oh, were you sweating a little bit?
Not because of that.
What had you sweating?
The fact that I missed vanilla agility right until that very moment, last fight.
That was a lot of flags to have to keep in mind. One or two of them are going to slip by you.
It's the only one I didn't look for. I looked for everything else. I had a great game plan for the entire seed, except vanilla agility as Zoramus. Yeah, it makes a very big difference.
Any fight you can walk out victorious, calculated. That's all the HP you needed.
Luck.
So speaking
sometimes
of luck,
you need it.
Talk to us about this particular spread of flags. What were you thinking when you first saw it rolled? Did you have any was push B to jump the big thing that stood out, or was there something else that really caught your eye?
Vanilla Foo, actually. Vanilla Foo was the big thing that actually picked come out to me, especially with C Relax. So get a Foo, you've got the majority of the seed on lock. He came straight away, so that made everything a lot easier in the early game. Cecil being in later, and it's odd. That vanilla agility I was talking about is right next to vanilla Foo. How did I miss the two in the flag set?
You were just too excited by the vanilla Foo.
That must be it, yeah.
So what was you made kind of an early play at the moon there. What was sort of the deciding factor that thought, okay, I'm doing this moon right here, right now? What sort of kind of clinched that decision?
The fact I really had nothing left on the Earth except Luca Key and and the top of tower, which I knew was Odin. The only thing that was really gating me at that particular moment was a tower key and a package from all the bosses. So really going to the moon was better in terms of where I'm going. Sure, the Luca Key had that package which you needed to go and do the get Mile on Z, but there was a lot on the moon that was required as well. Rubicante, a Cagnazzo, Valvalis, and there was the elements in the giant itself. So that's 4 objectives. So going up, getting those levels early, and I feel we're going to see a lot of that in the next over the next few months because of the highway to Zoramus Zone 4 is early moon, get those levels as quickly as possible. It just makes the seed a lot easier, especially if your team is ready, set out, and wanting to rumble.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I did want to ask you though. You forged the Flandango. You had a siren. Was a pink pluff plate ever on your mind?
Yes, but only if I could get away with not using that siren. Unfortunately, that siren was absolutely required for what I wanted to do on the moon. So, yeah, sorry. I love fighting the pink buffs. I've done it a few times over the last few weeks after the seed's been done, but I can't do it this time. Sorry.
Understandable. There's still a race to be run after all.
Yeah. Overall, this season of Slapdash, it's been here. You saw it in my Zoramus fights. Thank you all for watching in this. It's been great fun putting it on for everyone. For those who have raced, I hope it's been fun for them. I hope for those who watched, I hope it's been fun for you. We've had a lot of mystery, the mystery dash.
Always a good time when you don't know anything.
Yeah. One thing I am going to mention is this is going to be pretty much the last you're going to see and hear from me for a while. This is one of the reasons why I'm coming on, as well as to say thank you to everyone, is over the next few months, over ZZ4, I will be in the Discord. I will be helping admin in the tournament, but I am taking a break from playing. I'm taking a break from commentating. This will be the last you see and hear of me, unless something really goes wrong, until Highway to the Zoramus Zone is over, and we have the aftermath of that. So this is my thank you to everyone to sticking with me. I know I'm not the most vocal out in the Discord. I know I'm not the most overwhelming presence, but really, between the runners and the fans and everyone that's watching these, you're the ones that make this up. You're the reason why I'm doing this every single week when tournaments aren't happening. So really, just thank you, and look forward to November when we get back into Sunday Slapdash with a whole new mystery set of YAML for what's going on.
Well, I know I speak for the vast majority of the community when I say that you are an inexorable part of Free Enterprise Poitrak, and everyone appreciates all the work you do. Everyone appreciates your presence, and the Sunday Slapdash has definitely become one of the institutional pillars of Free Enterprise as far as I'm concerned. So Thank you so much for all the effort that you've put in, for all the influence you've had, and just for being one of the greatest personalities we have around here. Thank you very much, Poitrak.
Yeah, I've been around for the last 2.25 years. I think it's time for a break. So yeah, that's exactly what it is. But yeah, I'm going to sign off with my very last thank you until November. Keep watching the ZZ4. It's going to be a very fun tournament. I may very well be in the chat watching a few of them myself. So yeah. See you, everyone. Have a good evening.
Hope to see you there, buddy. Take care.
Thank you, Poitrak.
That was Poitrak, the inventor of the Sunday Slapdash, taking third place today, and definitely show him some love. Give him a follow. One of the absolute nicest people you can meet. Wonderful guy. So thanks so much for joining us, Poitrak. Thank you for racing for us. And I think with that, we are actually going to end our broadcast and kick you over to Sheridan to watch the end of this race. Scythe, how did you feel on your first time in comms today? What did you think of the race today?
Oh, it was fun. Lots of fun. Once you get started, it goes pretty smoothly, and I have some game knowledge, right? So being able to explain some things helps. Gets you in the flow.
Thank goodness one of us does. That's always the important part. But no, fantastic job. Everybody give Scythe Marshall a follow. Huge personality. I was surprised when I found out that this was actually his first time doing commentary, but did a fantastic job, as did the rest of our Restream team. Our Restreamer tonight, Escorian, our tracker Ake here, all doing a wonderful job behind the scenes. But show some love to Saradin. Please, no spoilers in chat because they are still finishing this race. But for the rest of the Restream team, my name is Smeepy. Thanks so much for watching us, and I hope to catch you next time here on Free Enterprise channel. Take care.
Take care, folks.